All right, in this video, we're going to build out our custom GPT in ChatGPT, and we're going to add some actions to it. What are actions? Actions look like this, where you're uploading a JSON schema, and simply put right here, it lets your GPT retrieve information or take actions outside of ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you guys how to configure, how to build out your schema and how to configure everything. And then we're going to build out this workflow in make.com where the GPT can take actions outside of ChatGPT. So this right here that you see is basically an extension of our custom GPT. And this GPT is going to be our LinkedIn post generator. So this LinkedIn posting agent writes highly engaging posts. Whenever we say get articles or search the web for recent make.com news or search the web for recent no-code automation news, whatever you want, this GPT is going to run an action, which is going to fire off this webhook, this automation in make.com, and it's going to retrieve articles from an RSS feed, and then it's going to send it back in a webhook response to our thread, to our conversation in ChatGPT, where we can be like, okay, I like article number 5, write me a LinkedIn post about that. It'll write you up a highly engaging LinkedIn post based on your criteria and the rules that you have set for it. And then when you're ready, you can just say post to my LinkedIn or publish, and it will take another action. It'll go back to this webhook, make a post request, and post that content to your LinkedIn page. So let's build this out from scratch. First things first, log into ChatGPT. We're gonna build out our custom GPT. Go up here to the top right-hand corner and select My GPTs. And then right at the very top, we're gonna say Create a GPT, and it's gonna take you to this window where we configure our GPT. We give it a name, we give it a description, we give it specific instructions, we add some conversation starters like get articles or search the web for make.com news. We're gonna give it a profile picture, and then down here, we're also going to create some actions. So first things first, let's just start with the name. Let's just say this is, I'm gonna say AW for my company, automate what? AW LinkedIn agent dash demo. As for the description, I'm gonna say this LinkedIn posting agent writes highly engaging posts. Just give it a quick description. What is this agent or what is this GPT? What's the purpose of it? And then as for instructions, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys access to this document right here where I have all of my prompts and my instructions for this specific use case. And you guys can go ahead, copy it, tweak it as you see fit, do whatever you want with it. So GPT instructions, I've already done this, so I'm just going to copy and paste this and I'll go over it with you guys. Paste that in right here into the instructions and I'm gonna go over it with you right here on the video. Starting off, you are a LinkedIn growth strategist specializing in automation and AI content. Your mission is to transform relevant articles about automation, no-code tools, and AI into engaging LinkedIn posts that resonate with business owners and decision makers. You are going to receive articles from the user. When I say get articles, contact my webhook and get me the most recent articles on AI and automation. Once you acquire these article URLs, your job is to create highly converting LinkedIn posts based on the article contents. Start each post with an engaging question to get the audience interested and end the post with a relevant call to action based on the article to encourage engagement. I uploaded a PDF to your knowledge about my business, Automate What. If relevant, pull info from the Automate What knowledge base PDF to make this post unique and on brand. I'll show you guys that PDF and how to upload it to the knowledge base. It's really simple. It's just drag and drop. And then the LinkedIn post should be in this format. First off, engaging question. Second is information about articles, super engaging, couple sentences or important updates, concise but packed full of the most valuable information. And then lastly, ending with the call to action. Use this format for each post. When I give you the confirmation to send the article, contact my post request webhook and send the content in that same format. Instructions for the post request. When using this post request, you'll need to send a JSON body that contains the post title and post content fields. This data will be sent to my make.com webhook, which can then be processed as needed. If that last part about the post request to the webhook in make.com, if any of this last part doesn't make sense to you guys, that's totally fine. It'll make sense further on in this video. Next, let's add some conversation starters. So first, I'm gonna say the first one is going to be get articles The next one, I'm just gonna say search web, recent make.com news. And then the last one, I'm going to add search web, recent no code automation news. Again, this is just for my use case because I'm all about AI and automation. Add these conversation starters to your liking, to your specific niche and use case. This just makes it easy so that you don't have to go into the prompt and type away what you want. You can just easily click this button and it'll fire off the conversation and do its thing. Next thing we're gonna wanna do, this is just optional, but I like to do it just to give the GPT context of who I am, what I do, what my business is all about. I'm gonna go ahead and upload a PDF file to the knowledge base. So I'm basically just uploading this document right here, which has all the information about me and my business. So just click the upload files and upload your PDF. It could be a Word document, it could be a TXT file, it can be whatever. I just prefer PDF. All of these, I'm just gonna keep toggled on. Code interpreter and data analysis, I'm not gonna toggle that on, but you can if you wish, if you need to for your use case. If you hover over the question mark icon right here, it basically just allows this GPT to run code. When enabled, this GPT can analyze data, work with files you've uploaded, do math, and more. So on second thought, I might want to toggle this on because I don't know if it'll be able to read the knowledge base. I think it'll be able to read the knowledge that I upload, even if I have this toggled off. But that last part kind of has me wondering, and I'll be honest with you guys, I have no idea. So this last part says work with files you've uploaded. That might mean files that I upload right here, or what that might mean is files that I will upload in the future. I don't know. So because of that, I'm just gonna toggle this on. We need to create some actions, but before that, we're gonna go ahead and give this GPT a profile pic. I used Grok AI to generate this image, this little icon about LinkedIn. You can pull it from the web, you can do whatever you want, but it's just as simple as clicking into this space and uploading the photo yourself or using DALL-E to generate it for you. So overall, it's looking really nice and clean right here. Now we need to add some actions. If you click into create new action, it'll take you to this window right here where we need to upload, we need to add our schema. In order to do that, we need our webhook from make.com first. Again, actions let your GPT retrieve information or take actions outside of ChatGPT. Go to make.com, log in, go to a blank scenario. I'm gonna name this one GPT Actions, LinkedIn Post -demo, and we are going to add a custom webhook right here. So add custom webhook. I'm gonna name this webhook exactly the same of the title of this scenario. Toggle this on, show advanced settings, and you're gonna need to toggle these on right here. Get request headers, yes, and get request HTTP method, yes. Once that's all done, then hit save, and it'll generate you a new unique webhook URL. And we're gonna come back to this. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to just plain old ChatGPT. I like to use the 4.0 model for this. You can use 4.0 mini or the 0.1 or 0.1 preview. If you have access to those, 4.0 seems to get the schema right because we're gonna basically just say, hey, ChatGPT, this is my use case. I'm building out a GPT. I'm adding an action to do this, to do XYZ or ABC, and I need a schema. Will you help me create a schema? So I'm gonna go over here again to my notes that I have for you guys in the resource files down below. We're gonna give it this prompt right here. So I'm gonna copy this right here, all the way down to right there, and I'm gonna paste that into the 4.0 model. So this is the prompt. I'm building a GPT that uses a make.com webhook to retrieve an article and then later post that article to LinkedIn. I have a specific make webhook URL, and I'm going to paste in right here my webhook URL from right here, the webhook that we just generated in make.com. I'm gonna copy the address to my clipboard, go back to OpenAI, to ChatGPT, paste that in right here. And then I need these specifications that defines a get operation at this exact endpoint, no additional path segments, to retrieve an article. The response should return an article object in JSON with fields title, required, string, summary, optional, string, and content, required, string. If the article is not found, return at 404 error response. Please build off of the following blank template. And then where am I getting this blank template right here of this JSON schema right here? I'm getting it from our ChatGPT. So right here, go up to examples and then select blank template. And then you can just basically copy this right here. This is just a blank template, a framework, if you will, to build upon. I'm copying this and I'm pasting it in right here. So please build off of the following blank template. And then I'm pasting it in right there. Use the provided make.com webhook URL as the server URL. Define the path. So this right here, this is up here in our webhook right here. So after hook.us1.make.com/, so right here with this / all the way to the very end of our webhook, I'm copying that and I'm pasting that in down here, right here. So define the and then I'm pasting that in right there, path with a get operation named get article, and include the article schema in the components section. Now, a lot of this may just seem like just a ton of jargon and just, it might not make sense to you, but it doesn't matter. It works. That's why I love no code automation and just AI, because I can just prompt ChatGPT. It knows exactly what this means, and it's going to give me the response and the results that I need. As long as it works, I don't really care to know exactly how all of this works. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys saying that I know exactly everything about JSON schemas and webhooks and all of this stuff, API calls. I definitely know a lot, but I don't know everything. So that's where ChatGPT and AI can come into play. And these tools just help fill in the gaps where I lack knowledge. I almost forgot to copy this. So copy this right here and paste in the new one right there. Because I forgot to add that, because I'm basically copying from my template or from my prompt right here that I have for you guys. And you just need to make sure that you're replacing these pink texts right here with your own webhooks. So once that's all done, go ahead and hit send, and ChatGPT is going to do its thing, and it's going to get back to you with a schema. So it's currently generating it all out for us, and this is the new canvas window right here, where we can continue to prompt over here on the left-hand side and update this document if we need to. So it's a really cool feature if you haven't explored it already. So it looks like it was done generating. This is our new schema. Let's go ahead and copy this code, and we're gonna go back to our GPT, and in the actions, right, add actions, we're gonna paste in this schema right here. So, and if it works correctly, you'll be able to see these fields propagate down here. So name, get article, method is get, and the path, this is the path. Let's go ahead and test this out. Let's make sure that we are listening to determine our data structure right here in make.com. So click this so it can start listening. And let's go back to our GPT and say, test this action. It's going to fire off and do its thing. We're gonna say AW LinkedIn agent demo wants to talk to your webhook. Allow, always allow, or decline. Let's say always allow, and it's gonna get back to us, and it's either gonna be a success or we're gonna run into an error. It looks like in this case, we may have ran into an error. The hook, the API call using the get article operation did not return a result. Let me know if you need assistance troubleshooting or any other action. So looks like we might have something wrong with our schema, or we can go ahead and test this one more time, see if it was just a one-off. So let's say always allow, and then let's see if it can try again and do its thing. So yeah, the get article operation did not return any content. Let's take a screenshot of this first one right here, and we're gonna throw this into our canvas, into the same chat right here, and be like, hey, I tried testing this schema or this action in my GPT, and I got this error. And let's see what it does. The error likely arises because the webhook URL endpoint you specified isn't returning a response matching the defined article schema, or the endpoint isn't reachable due to external factors. Here is a step-by-step troubleshooting guide to resolve this. Let's make sure that we copied this correctly into our prompt or into the schema. So let's go over here to our schema right here. So we have the URL. This is actually correct. We don't want the full webhook URL right here for the server. Here we go. We do have our path right here, paths. We need to make sure that this actually matches up. So C8E, let's see if that matches up. C8E. Yeah, it should match up and it should be working. So, I wonder what's going on. I'm just gonna say, try giving me a new schema, please. And it's gonna go through and work out giving me a new updated schema. So it looks like it's already updated a few things, and we'll see if that fixes the issue. And it finished doing its thing. We're gonna copy the code right here, and let's try this one more time. So go back to our schema, we're gonna select all, delete, and we're gonna add in that new updated code right there. Again, this should work theoretically, but let's just test it out and see if it will work. So redetermine data structure. We're gonna say always allow. It's going to try and make that GET request. So it appears that the GET article API didn't return any data. I wonder if by uploading some of our knowledge base, a PDF, before setting up our actions, I wonder if that's throwing off the GPT, configuring the schema and all that properly. I wonder, I don't know. So in that case, I'm just gonna remove the file. I'm gonna deselect this code interpreter and data analysis right here, and I'm gonna retry creating a new action. I'm gonna go back to the original schema that we had. I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna paste that in right here, and we're gonna test one more time. So we're gonna go ahead and say test. Again, make sure that we're listening to determine the data structure in make.com. And we're gonna say always allow, and it's going to try and test out. So it says I successfully fetched an article, what's next? So let's go back to make.com. Okay, so we can see that it successfully is determined. So I wonder if that was the case where maybe we shouldn't be uploading. So let's go ahead, and this will save automatically, so you can just click out of that. I wonder if that was the issue. I used the original schema that GPT-4o initially gave me, but I wonder if this uploaded knowledge base, this file, this PDF that I was giving it, was just throwing it off for some reason. Let's go ahead and finish setting up this GPT and our workflow, and then at the very end, we can upload our knowledge base once we have a working schema and make sure that everything's running smooth. Back into actions, we can see that it successfully ran, right? We sent the test, and it was successfully determined and received right here in our webhook. So that means it's working. Both of the platforms are communicating now. Now, what we need to do is we need to get the articles from an RSS feed. The tool that I like to use for this is rss.app, and I have an RSS feed already set up right here for just general artificial intelligence. And this is the URL. So I'm copying this URL address right here, copy, and I'm going back to make.com, and I'm adding an RSS module. So I'm saying RSS, retrieve RSS feed items. I'm selecting that module, and I'm pasting in my webhook URL. I think I pay like $10 a month for this service right here, but you can create your own RSS feeds with Google Alerts or other tools, and I think that's free. Date from, you can specify the article dates, but I've already configured that in this app, the rss.app, and so I don't think I need to do that in make.com, but you guys may want to do that for your RSS feed for your specific needs. You may want to specify that date from yesterday to today, or yesterday to exactly right now, to kind of give you like a 24-hour period or a 48-hour period. I'm gonna say the maximum number of returned items, I'm just gonna say 10, and I'm gonna select OK. Next, I need to aggregate the text. First, I'm gonna hit save, and then I'm going to say run once, and it's gonna start listening for a response. Let's try testing this out one more time. So let's just hit test. It's going to make a call to the webhook. And then back here in make.com, it fired off, it did its thing, and this is the response that we get from our RSS. So we get a bundle of, so we should have 10 bundles, right? And each one of these bundles is a unique article about artificial intelligence. What I want to do is I want to aggregate 3 fields. I want to aggregate the URL, the title, and the author of the article. So to do that, I'm adding a text aggregator. So you can just type text aggregator, and it'll show up in the tools right here. So text aggregator right there. Source module, I'm saying the RSS feed module is the source module. And then as for the text, how do I want it formatted and aggregated? So we're taking all of the 10 bundles and we're aggregating it into just one big blob of text. So I want to say URL :space, and then I'm pasting in the variable URL from the RSS feed. And then I'm hitting return, and then I'm saying title :space, and then I'm mapping in the title variable, and I'm doing the same for author. So author, not author, :space, and finding the author variable. And then as for show advanced settings, we're gonna toggle that on, and we're gonna separate all these by a new row and hit OK. Let's hit save anyway. And let's run this one more time and test it out again. So run anyway, go back to our GPT, let's say test, and then it's gonna do its thing, send a get request, and it's gonna fire off, do its thing, and let's take a look and see how it looks. It's aggregating all 10 bundles for us, and this is what it looks like. So we have URL, title, author, URL, title, author, and it just goes down the list of all 10 right there. Sweet, so we're looking good so far. Now we need to send that data back to our GPT. So to do that, we're gonna add a webhook response module, and we're gonna say the status is 200, meaning that it was successful, and in the body, we're gonna map in the text from the text aggregator. And that's all we have to do. We're gonna hit OK, and we're good. So let's do this one more time. Let's run once, and we're gonna go back and hit the test button in our GPT. So right here, test, it's gonna fire off, do its thing, send the request, and then send the data back to our GPT. So we can see right here, it says, I fetched several articles on AI and automation, but in this case, I guess it's just AI because this RSS feed is just specifically for artificial intelligence. And then it lists every single article, and it even has the link to each one of the articles. So we can click into it and it'll take us to the article. So right here, it takes us to this article right here. We can read up on it if we want. If we like it, then we can say, hey, write me an article or write me a post for LinkedIn about this article. So we're looking good so far. Now that we have that all taken care of, saying, hey, get articles, I'm gonna go to this GPT. So let's go back. Let's hit refresh on this GPT. And I'm gonna go ahead and click our action button. I'm gonna test this just one more time. So I'm gonna say run once. And back here in our GPT, I'm gonna say get articles, and it's gonna fire off, do its thing, as if I just typed and prompted that out, and it's gonna fire off and do its thing, get back to us with all of the articles from our RSS feed. So we've got all of that taken care of. Now what we need to do is we need to say, hey, I like article 3, right? Does desktop AI come with a side of risk? Write me an article or write me a LinkedIn post about that. It'll write off of an article, or a post, I should say, about that. And then when I'm ready, I can say publish to my LinkedIn, or please post to my LinkedIn. And then we need to build out an action. So we need to build off of this schema and add a post method. So right now all we have is a get method. We need to add to this schema to incorporate a post method so that it can actually send the data to this webhook, so that I can actually send the data back to this webhook using a post method this time, and then post to our LinkedIn. It's gonna travel down a different route. Let's take this. If you need to, go back to ChatGPT, copy this schema that's working for us if you need to. I'm just gonna go back to the same thread of my OpenAI. Again, this is just regular ChatGPT, and I'm gonna go ahead and prompt it with a follow-up prompt saying, hey, now I need a way to make a post method. And to do this, you guys can go ahead and copy my prompt right here. I'll have this in the resources down below. So prompt number 2, I'm just copying this. I'm saying my GPT is going to then write up a post for LinkedIn and make a post request to that same webhook whenever I approve the content. It's going to send the post title, the post content, hashtags, if any. The required fields are post title and post content for sure. Can you finish my schema to do this, please? So I'm just gonna copy that, go back to ChatGPT, throw that in the chat, and it's gonna build off of this schema right here. So it's gonna fire off, do its thing, it's editing, and it's gonna go through and add a post method schema to this original schema, if that makes sense. It's making sure that these properties are there. So post title, post content, hashtags, if anything, right? If relevant, maybe a description. And it's saying, hey, the required fields are post title and post content for sure. So let's copy this new code, this new schema, go back to our GPT underneath this actions, and we're going to select all and replace it with our new schema. And you should see that this content will propagate down here, or this field. So post content right here is making a post request to this same webhook using this same path. And let's go ahead and give it a test. But first, back here in our make.com scenario, I want to go ahead and add a router. So I'm gonna right click in this branch right here between these first two modules, and I'm going to add a router, and I'm gonna add a different route. So let's realign everything. This is going to be for get method. This is going to be for post method. I'm gonna go ahead and add some filters. So for the first route, this filter is going to be get article. I'm gonna label it that. You can label this whatever you want, get articles. Condition, if the method is equal to get, then travel up this route. And then for this, I'm gonna say post to LinkedIn. Right there, post to LinkedIn. If the condition, if the method is equal to post, then travel down this route. And before I add my LinkedIn module, as I'm just testing, I'm gonna go ahead and add this instead of the LinkedIn module. I'm gonna add set a variable right here, just so that I can make sure that everything's looking nice and clean. So I'm gonna say LinkedIn post test variable value. As for variable value, we don't have the contents yet. So what we need to do, I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna say redetermine the data structure. So I'm gonna click into this webhooks right here and redetermine the data structure. And I'm gonna go back to our GPT, and I'm gonna say test this post method now. So test, and we're gonna go back and see that this should, if the schema is working properly, it should say that the determined data structure is now successful. So let's go back to GPT. Oh yeah, we need to select confirm. So AW LinkedIn agent demo wants to talk to this server. We're gonna say yes, confirm, and then it's gonna fire off, do its thing, and it should say successfully determined right there. So it worked properly. We go back, it says the LinkedIn post has been successfully submitted. Let me know if you'd like any assistance with anything else. So now we have the variables to work with. So we have the post title, return, post content. So that's what that looks like. We're mapping in those values right here, these variables from our post method right there. And again, we're just adding this module temporarily in place of LinkedIn as we're testing this out to make sure that everything looks good, because we're not going to be blasting our actual LinkedIn page with just test posts. If something's wrong or incorrect, it just doesn't look good. Let's hit save. I think it's been a while since we've saved our workflow. So everything's looking good so far. Let's go ahead and go back to ChatGPT, right? Let's go to our GPT. Let's click out of the actions. And now that everything's working good with our schema, let's go ahead and add our knowledge. So that PDF file, I'm gonna add that back to the knowledge base. So I'm going right here, uploading files, and I'm adding my PDF back in. I'm gonna toggle this box on, code interpreter and data analysis, just in case. Let's see if it works. Now let's go ahead and test it. So it's in preview. Again, it's in the draft mode right here. We haven't published it and fully saved this GPT. So right now we're gonna just preview it and test it out. So let's go ahead back to make.com. Let's toggle this on, saying run scenario immediately, hit OK, and hit save. Now back to our GPT. Sorry, we're going back and forth between make.com and our GPT. Back to our preview window in our GPT, let's go ahead and test it as if it's working. So first things first, I'm coming to ChatGPT. I'm opening up this GPT and I need to write a new post for my LinkedIn. I don't want to spend too much time, so I have these action buttons in place. I'm going to say get articles. It's going to fire off, do its thing. I'm going to say always allow. The articles have been retrieved and it's waiting for all of that response from make.com to get back with all of the articles. So it's running into some issues. I seriously wonder, everything's working great until I upload this knowledge base and select code interpreter and data analysis. Let's toggle this off. I wonder if this is throwing it off. Let's toggle this off right here. Let's keep our knowledge base right there and let's try this again. So we're going to say get articles and it's going to fire off, do its thing. We're going to need to approve this. You should be able to just select that once it works properly the first time. So I attempted to retrieve the latest articles on AI and automation, but didn't receive any updates from the webhook. Let's go back to make.com and see what's going on. So let's hit save, let's hit refresh and see if this is actually toggled on properly. So yeah, it's toggled on properly. Let's try that one more time, back to our GPT. So I'm just gonna hit refresh on the GPT right here, and I'm gonna say get articles, and let's see what it does. Something's not working here. I'm glad we're running into issues right here on this video so that I can show you guys it's not always butterflies and rainbows. There's a lot of debugging and there's just a lot of errors that you run into as you're building out automations and stuff like this till you get something that actually works. With that being said, I wonder, everything was working totally fine until I uploaded my PDF document. So I'm gonna just delete it all entirely. I'm gonna uncheck the code interpreter and data analysis. I'm gonna go back to make.com and make sure that it's toggled on, it's listening, and I'm just gonna test this one more time. I am not gonna be shocked if it actually works and the problem was actually just that file that we have uploaded to the knowledge base. So it looks like it worked. We can see right here that it kicked off, it ran, it did its thing. For whatever reason, the uploaded file, that simple PDF of my knowledge base about my business and me and all that, that was throwing off the whole GPT. I honestly want to use that file to give context to make sure that my posts on LinkedIn are actually unique and it's not just generalized stuff, regurgitating stuff from the article, but it actually applies to me and my business, what I do, all of this stuff. I can put that spin on it, but I might need to just update the prompt or the instructions right here to make sure. I wonder if somehow I prompted it right here, like from this part, I uploaded a PDF to your knowledge about my business, automate what, if relevant, pull info from automate what knowledge base PDF to make the post unique and on brand. I wonder if I can reprompt that better to make sure not to interfere with the get or the post methods or the GPT actions, because somehow that file is just interfering with the post and get methods. Somehow it's just interfering with the GPT actions, trying to send and receive data to and from that webhook in make.com. So that's really good. I'm glad I'm able to show you this on the video. That might be an issue that you run into. I want to try this one more time. I'm gonna say get articles and just make sure everything's working properly. And then I'm gonna say, hey, write me up a post, because now from here on out, we need to get to the point where LinkedIn is actually writing up posts or content that we actually like. And then we're gonna say, yes, publish to LinkedIn, it's going to fire off the webhook, travel down the second route, and post to our LinkedIn. So that's the last step of this whole process that we need to just work out. We need to iron out just a few more wrinkles and then we're good. So it got back to me with all of the 10 articles. Let's read through some of these. So the interaction between humans and artificial intelligence demands a new field of study, blah, blah, blah. That's boring. Second one, artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the job hunting game. Here's how you can too. That might be interesting. Does desktop AI come with a side of risks? I don't know. Opinion. How does AI think? Here's one theory. Nah. Will artificial intelligence hit a wall? 6 best AI stocks to buy in 2025. No. SoftBanks to invest $100 billion in AI and infrastructure in the US. That might be interesting. American policy to drive revival of technology and business growth. How to write your resume using generative AI with Amazon. That's kind of interesting. And the year of math. Let's have it write a post about number 2. So I'm just going to go back down here to the prompt window and say, write me a post about number 2, please. Going to kick off, do its thing, look at the contents of that article, and it started off with an engaging question. Is AI the key to landing your dream job? Question mark. And it goes into the actual content of the article and just condensing that into a more bite-sized version for people to read. And then it's ending with a call to action. Want to stay ahead of your career? Start exploring how AI can be your ultimate job search ally. Sure. And then what's the one thing you'd automate in your job hunting process? Let's discuss in the comments. And it even gave us some hashtags right here. I don't really like the first engaging question. So I'm going to say, I like the post, but change the engaging question at first. How are you using AI to stand out in today's competitive job market? Okay. I'm going to say, give me 5 other options of initial questions because none of these are really flying with me. So what is your next career move? So what if your next career move was just an algorithm away? Could AI be the secret weapon to your job search toolkit? That's kind of a good one. Are you leveraging AI to make your resume stand out from the crowd? That also might be good. How is artificial intelligence reshaping the way you hunt for jobs? That also might be good. What role does technology play in your search for the perfect job? No. I'm going to say number 2. Use number 2. And then it's going to add number 2 back to the original post. Sure, this is cool and all, but it could be even better. I want to add a statistic from this article. I'm going to say, is there a statistic you can add from the article to the post? Hit send, and it got back to me with the stat. So in fact, nearly 50% of job seekers are now using AI tools like ChatGPT to generate their CVs and cover letters, streamlining the application process. I'm going to say, I like it, post to LinkedIn, please. And it's going to fire off the action. So right here, it says starting action. You're going to hit confirm. Got back to us saying that the post has been successfully published to LinkedIn. It hasn't though, because it just fired off and went to this set variable. We haven't actually connected our LinkedIn module yet, and that's okay because we're still testing. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what it looks like right here. So this is how our LinkedIn post will show up on LinkedIn, right? So it looks like we have the title and also the content, but within the content it included the title. So this is kind of a duplicate right here. So because of that, we'll probably just be doing, instead of including the post title, we'll just be doing the post content. So right here, you can see right here, post title and post content, it included both. And everything looks good so far. It traveled down this route because the method was the post method, right? Let's go back to the history run right here. I'll show you. So because the method was equal to post, it traveled down this route and it did not go get more articles. It knew exactly what to do. Let's go back into our scenario in make.com. We're going to add a LinkedIn module now. So LinkedIn, you'll need to sign in and grant permissions to LinkedIn, allowing make.com to access your LinkedIn information. So LinkedIn, and then we're going to create a user text post. I already have my connection right here, LinkedIn, Mason Anderson. You're going to need to add yours right here. So go ahead and hit add, sign in, and it'll walk you through the process. And then as for content, we are just posting in the post content variable from the post method request. We're going to hit OK. Let's delete this one now. So right click and delete, and it'll keep our filter exactly the same. We're going to realign everything, and we can rename these modules if we like. So we can say, we could say get articles, and we could say post LinkedIn for that name. I don't really care about renaming these modules, but you guys can if you wish. Everything is working so far. Let's go ahead and try this one more time, for real this time, and I'm gonna actually post to my LinkedIn and show you guys what it looks like. Before that, let's go ahead and finalize our GPT. So again, if you want to add a knowledge base, so a file to your knowledge, that was the issue we were running into all along. You might just need to go into your instructions and prompt it a little bit better to make sure that it's not interfering with the GPT actions. But in all honesty, for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to upload any files. Let's hit create. And I'm just going to make it so that it's only me. Only I have access to this GPT. You can make it so that anyone with the link has access to use this GPT, or you can add it to the GPT store. And that will be made public. So only me, hit save. And then it's going to finalize and it'll show up in your GPT library over on the left-hand side. So my GPT is now published. I can go over here on the left-hand side and find it. And let's go ahead and take it for a spin. So get articles. We're gonna say get articles. It's going to pop up with that window. Here are all the articles that I've retrieved because in make.com it fired off and did its thing. I'm gonna say write me a post about number 2. We're gonna go through this process using the same article again. And it looks like it included the headers this time just to label everything. What I might need to do is I might need to go back into my GPT instructions and be like, hey, just make sure that you're not including any headers like the engaging question or the post content or the CTA. I'm gonna say remove the headers and give me 5 other options of engaging questions. I like number 4, please throw in a relevant stat in this post. So it's gonna kick off, do its thing, and it wrote me up my post. So ready to let AI give your job hunt a competitive edge. AI is reshaping the job market with 67% of recruiters now using AI tools to streamline hiring processes, from creating tailored resumes with generative AI to leveraging platforms that analyze job descriptions for the perfect match. AI is helping job seekers stand out and connect with opportunities faster than ever. Whether it's optimizing your LinkedIn profile or preparing for interviews with AI-driven insights, the future of job hunting is here. How are you using AI to supercharge your career growth? Share your experiences or tools in the comments. Sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and post that to my LinkedIn. So I'm gonna say post to LinkedIn, please. And it's gonna fire off, do its thing. It's gonna ask me to confirm. I'm gonna say yes, confirm. It's gonna fire off, do its thing. If we go to make.com, we can see it fired off, went down here, posted to LinkedIn. And if I go to my LinkedIn page, let me hit refresh, you can see the new post right here. So it looks like we actually missed the engaging question right here because that was included as the post title. Because of that, that's probably my bad because I didn't test it out and I just removed the post title variable. So right here, I just included the post content. What I probably need to do is hit return twice and I need to enter in the post title right there and just hit OK and make sure that we get the engaging question initially. And in order to make sure that the post title is not included in the post content as well, so it's not like duplicates, what I need to do is probably go to my GPT instructions right here. So back to my GPT, I'm gonna hit edit GPT, and in my instructions right here, I'm gonna need to probably edit this. Use this format for each post. When I give you the confirmation to send the article, contact my post request webhook and send the content in that same format. I'm gonna say use the engaging question as the post title, period. And I have it like this, post title, because this is what it looks like. This is the key or the value or the variable within the JSON schema of what it actually looks like for the title of the post. So hit close and I'll show you what I mean by that. So back down here into our schema, we clicked into our action, and in our schema, if we scroll down here, we can find the post title variable. Where is it? Post content, post title right here. We see right there, post title, the title of LinkedIn post. So there you have it. It's just a really simple workflow in make.com. The hardest part about this is just configuring your actions right here and the schema. That's probably the hardest part, is just getting that working right here. And from the actions, you can add additional actions with additional schemas, right? Just create new action and then add your schema. I'm going to try to upload this PDF, my knowledge base, one more time, and I'm going to try and tweak the instructions really quick and see if I can get it to work, because ideally I do want to give it all of the context about me and my business. If not, I can probably just copy all of that information or a condensed version of it into the instructions right here as a worst case scenario. But let's go ahead and give it a try. So I'm gonna upload the file again. I've uploaded the file now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the instructions right here and I'm gonna say, hey, only pull from this PDF, from this knowledge, when you're writing the LinkedIn post. Other than that, don't touch it. Like, don't even reference it. So somehow I got to configure that into the instructions. I got to prompt it very clearly. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to keep this part the same. If relevant, pull info from the automate what knowledge base PDF to make the post unique and on brand, and then period space. Only reference this file when writing the actual post for LinkedIn, and don't use this file for any other action. I'm going to hit close. I'm going to test this out and see if it works. Let's go ahead and give it a run. So I'm going to say get articles. It's currently live, but I haven't published these changes yet. So I'm going to say yes, always allow. And it didn't work. So go figure. So I don't know what's going on. By uploading a file to the GPT's knowledge, it uses that as the primary source of its knowledge to execute any request. So because of that, because that's the primary source of knowledge that it's starting off with, it's throwing it off and making it hard to make that proper GET request to our make.com webhook right here. So for that reason, just want to include this in the video for you guys to show you might have a hard time uploading knowledge or additional files, and you can always try experimenting around with the instructions or experimenting around with setting up the schema a little bit differently to make sure that the GET request and the POST requests are prioritized initially, and that the uploaded knowledge is only referenced when writing the article. You could try stuff like that. I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas. But in all honesty, in my instructions, I'm probably just gonna give it some reference, some context of my business and myself. So I'm going to take all of that knowledge from my knowledge base document, and I'm just going to probably make that a little more concise and put that into my instructions and see how that goes. Because this document is 11 pages long. So I'm going to delete the part about the uploaded knowledge base in PDF. I'm going to ignore that part or just delete that part in my instructions. And then I'm going to add my knowledge right here. I'm going to say use this knowledge about Mason and his business automate what, if relevant, to make the post unique and on brand. And then I'm going to paste in my knowledge. I've pasted in some very general knowledge like my business name, who I am, my contact information, my TikTok handle, the location, time zone, core expertise, my mission, my values, who I am, my free school community, my favorite tools to use, some hobbies and interests, just to give it more context to actually make my posts more personal and more unique instead of just generalized. We're gonna hit close now that I've updated the instructions, and let's test this out one more time. So I've removed the file completely from the knowledge base. I'm not touching that at all because I just can't seem to get it to work right now on this video. So we're gonna say get articles, and we're gonna see if it works. We're gonna see if it interferes, the additional instructions, we're gonna see if that interferes at all. So we're gonna click always allow, and it's going to reach out to make.com, and it looks like it worked. So it went out, it grabbed the articles, and it got back to us with the response, and we can go from here. So we're gonna say write a post about number 2, please. And it looks like it used that additional context of who I am and my business, what we offer, what we do, and it put that into this post. You can see right here, this call to action. What's stopping you from leveraging AI in your business? Let's see how automation and AI can unlock growth and efficiency for you in 2024. Drop a comment or DM me to learn more. Up here, I can see that it's even referencing automated workflows. So it looks like it seems to be working. I really hope that that video helps you guys understand what it takes to not only create your GPT in ChatGPT, but to add actions. That's the whole purpose of this video, is to adding actions, showing you how to add the actions, how to build a schema, and how you can build workflows outside of ChatGPT using make.com and webhooks to do extra stuff. And all you have to do is stay within your GPT. So this GPT, once I'm done, again, we're hitting update because I updated the instructions, and then it'll take us to the screen, view GPT. So all we're doing is we're hopping into this GPT, we're staying in the ChatGPT interface, and we're just messaging away. And honestly, the prompt could be possibly a little bit better to make sure that I'm not going back and forth all the time, because the whole point of this is to save you time with generating posts for LinkedIn. So in order to cut down on the back and forth of like, I don't really like that engaging question or whatnot, you could probably give it some more criteria or give it more specific instructions to your liking, to your tone of voice or your style, to make sure that more often than not, on the very first output of the written post, you like it, it's great, you just say publish and get on with your day. So I hope this video helps you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.